Good morning everybody, Mark Frederick here, or should I say welcome to Italy without pasta. Why am I mentioning that? Well, I want to try and raise some funds for my trip to Italy to do further research. I was there only just last week for the first time, loved it, picked up loads of recipes, need to get back as soon as possible and gather more recipes for this new book, Italy Without Pasta. Newcomers here, if you don't know what it's all about, that's what it is. I'm just reached retirement and I want to write this book, Italy Without Pasta. So it's all those recipes without any pasta recipes, and that you can find in Italy, and hopefully bring to the fore those kind of recipes that you wouldn't normally hear of or even see. So I really want to get into the depths of the country and find out. Well, there's a wasp going around, they don't disturb me, so so they shouldn't disturb you, so let them carry on. Anyway, back on point. That's why I'm here, to make a video. Thank you for all those who've contributed and helped with support for getting me to Italy for the first time. And some of you have made contributions through buymeacoffee.com/capitals TGCA. I'll just repeat that: buymeacoffee.com/capitals TGCA. And some of you have made contributions there, which have really helped. I'm asking once again for those who are interested and like to support me, please make a contribution. It literally needs only to be the price of a coffee, which can be as cheap as about €4, and cheaper still in some places, but on average about €4. When you're traveling, the prices of getting coffee can fluctuate. But anyway, it's all to make contributions towards this book research and for me to gather these recipes. And I've also been doing some fundraising myself, other than using that platform. One of the things that have come up here in my allotment, we're capable of making, have a take a guess, what can we do with these? You're wrong, it's not an apple, it's a pear. So what can we do? We can make pear. Pear is the cider of pears, and of course if it was apples it would be apple cider. So this is pear. And some of you, if you're old enough, you remember the small bottles of baby sham, the bubbly cheap champagne that the ladies were given back in the 60s and 70s. Well, that's what perry is. So like a with fizz, it's like a cheap champagne, but it's really delicious and easy to make. And I'm not going to charge a fee, but I'm going to ask that you make a contribution to buymeacoffee.com/TGCA. And I would like to ask for those who come and learn how to make perry to offer a minimum of €65. So what do you get for €65? Well, quite a bit, I think. So it's all the pears you need. All right, there'll be a lot more when you get here over the next few weeks. So all the pears you need. So then you're going to need, excuse me while I lean over to my chair, you're going to need one of these fermentation buckets. All right, so and complete with spout and fermentation spout on top. All right, a brand new one of those. Excuse me, the camera's following me around. You'll get a brand new one of those to take home with you with your pressed pear juice. We've got all the equipment here, good old-fashioned cider press with wooden slats and the net in, and or as I think they're called a cheese, aren't they? I think the technical term is a cheese. So we press all the cider, or perry in this case, and we'll do exactly the same in the coming months for the cider, with the apples. And so if you can't make it for the perry course, then come along for the apple cider one. And there's a lot more apples than there is pears, but the pears is a real nice one. It's there. It's top notch, it's lovely, and I've drunk all mine from last year. It was that good already, so I haven't even got any left to show you. And so yeah, so from that, maximum class of 4 people. If you want to cut it off as a pair, a couple, and just, you know, have a one-to-one so to speak, then just cut the cloth to suit. So in other words, you know, make an appropriate donation, if you don't mind. That sounds ever so cheeky, doesn't it? But you know what I'm trying to say. And each person that comes, like I said, they'll go away, you know, with a fermentation bucket complete with pouring spout and fermentation spout and lid, so you can take it home safely. And then you just leave it to ferment at home in a cool, dark place yeah, for about 2 weeks, and then you can bottle it up unless you want to give it a second fermentation. So, but I'll give you all those instructions when you get here. So anyway, that contribution that will then go towards my research for Italy without pasta. So that's the purpose of me doing it. And like I said, I'll do it again, but with apples a bit later on when the apples are ready for harvesting. Pears are always ready to harvest first, so hence offering you know, the perry making course first. So so there we are. There we are. It's not an apple. This variety, it's actually a pear, and that's what we're going to do, is make perry. Or you are. Can you see all the bloody apples up there? Just about. Oh, there's a few more there. Oh. And I've even got my, I should have got it out for the camera, my telescopic pole with, you know, with apple net on the top. So it stretches out for about 4.5 meters. So we've got no trouble with these trees. So we'll get every single, you know, fruit off the tree. So that'll be cool. So yeah, so we can have a little bit of fun. Look, if you're interested, get in touch. And if you're not, can I ask, if you've got the will, just buy me a coffee. Remember, it's buymeacoffee.com /T GCA. All right. Sorry, I'm repeating myself always. That's sounding boring. And you'll be helping me to research the book. So till then, toodaloo.